Hey guys, this is Hector and Allan. We're sitting here for the draft analysis for the Amoonguss Burnouts, led by Anthony and Matt. You guys want to say hi?
Hey guys.
What's up?
So, for their draft, we're starting out with Duraludon, Grimmsnarl, Gmax, Volcarona, Blastoise, Gourgeist, Cottony, Incurchin, Slowking, Noivern, and Coffin. Allan's going to take care of the synergy and the threat level portion, while I'll be taking care of the draft grade and the overall team.
Okay, so for synergy, we gave you guys a B plus. The thing that stood out the most here was the Duraludon and the Grimmsnarl. If anyone has played VGC, you can understand that Duraludon Grimmsnarl is pretty good. They work really well together. They stand out the most in this draft. There's also a lot of gems here that are pretty versatile as well. So I feel like these things work well together. They can support each other really well. For threat level, we gave you guys an A minus. It's going into team preview. I think it's clear that you guys will be playing Duraludon a lot. That's going to be the backbone of your team. In terms of your guys' options, I feel like you guys have a lot of options to support Duraludon. You can go for Scream's weakness policy 1 week and then switch it up the next week, or even Volcarona can go for a sweep the week after. There's deviations that you can run on the team, many different sets. And even the Grimmsnarl can go on the offensive as well if you want to. I assume that's why you drafted the G-Max version, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough team to prepare for. People will know what you guys are running, but the fact that you can be pretty versatile about it is what makes you guys pretty dangerous.
Going into the draft grade, we gave you guys a B plus. I mean, touching on what Allan said, you guys kind of have a mix of a lot of different things here. You could do different things overall with different mons, and something that calls out was the Gmax Grimmsnarl, even though most people would assume that it would be a setup mon, a support mon. I'm kind of thinking I'd be more surprised if I saw you guys turn it into an attacker at some time during the matches. So that's going to be interesting to look at. So I mean, you guys overall, as far as a team grade, we're gonna go with an A minus. You have a lot of different options, so I think it's gonna be interesting to see what you guys are able to do with the picks that you were given.
So going into pros, I would say that your A tiers are versatile. You have the Duraludon. It's not necessarily versatile, but it does blow through teams. It ignores Follow Me. That's a huge factor for the Duraludon. It can just body teams if they don't prepare for it. The Grimmsnarl, you guys have the G-Max version. As I said earlier, it can go on the offensive if you guys need it to. But the key thing here is that it supports the team really well with the dual screens. It has Thunder Wave, Fake Tears. I'm pretty sure it has like a lot of other moves as well. Switcheroo, Eject Button comes to mind, but yeah, it has a variety of moves that it can use. I think it has some good coverage as well. But yeah, as far as like the other A tiers, Volcarona as well, it can be offensive, it can be defensive, it can set up, it has Rage Powder. So that's pretty nice. Blastoise as well can take the offensive if it needs to, just slap on a Choice Scarf, go for Water Spout. And it supports the team as well with the Follow Me. And so I think your A tiers are really versatile. It's a really nice thing to have on your team. Your team is pretty well balanced. Looking at your draft, I see that you guys went for those versatile picks in the early rounds, and then you guys kind of snagged like a sort of like a Trick Room component as well. I can see the Gourgeist and Slowking that can set up Trick Room. Potentially even Cottony. I'm not sure if it gets Trick Room, but yeah. Going into the other pro, you have in terms of offense, you have both of the type cores. So you have the Drawlydon with the Steel and Dragon coverage, Grimmsnarl with the Fairy coverage. So that's pretty nice. You guys also have that Firewater Grass Core in Volcarona, Blastoise, and Gourgeist. I think the Volcarona and the Blastoise stand out a lot more here. Gourgeist is a little bit questionable. Not sure if it will have as much to offer as the other two components of your Firewater Grass Core, but it's still a core nonetheless, and it's pretty well put together, I would say.
Hector, you there? Oh, I think we can't hear Hector, of course. Well, Alan, did you want to go ahead and take the cons until Hector can come back real quick?
Yeah, for sure. So your budget picks, we thought they were pretty questionable. You guys have the coughing, you guys have the cottony. Cottony, I mean, it's a one trick pony essentially. It does Tailwind, Endeavor, and that's about it. Um, I'm not sure if it's able to pull off anything else, but I mean, for a B tier, it's might not be worth the points that you spent on it, but we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Prankster Tailwind is always really nice, but if you're comfortable with drafting that, uh, hopefully you guys will be able to put it to good use, yeah, and prove us wrong. In terms of the coughing, I mean, I would say it's one of the better D tier picks, but it could potentially hinder your own abilities as well. You have the Grimmsnarl that wants to like do prankster things. The Duraludon, I mean, Stalwart canceling it out would be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Even Cottony as well. But we'll have to see how those work out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Can you see the last con there? You want me to read it to you? Hello?
yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see it. So for the other card, we had that the team seems a bit reliant on the A tiers.
Mm.
So you have a really good A tiers. They're versatile, as I stated.
Mm-hmm.
Your B tiers seem like they're not as there's not much of a presence in them. Uh, we'll have to see how that plays out, but would I would assume you guys will end up relying on those A tiers a lot more than the B tiers. They might not have as much to offer. Especially the Pincurchin. I think that was a questionable pick on your guys' end.
And then just real quick, Alan, was there any questions that you had for us at all regarding our draft or anything like that?
Yeah, so I was actually going to ask about the Pincurchin. How come you guys drafted the Pincurchin?
That was my idea. It was I'm a little bit conflicted on how much I want to reveal, but we were wondering about how we were going to deal with opposing trick room modes, and we wanted to be able to stop opposing trick room, which we could do with like a prankster taunt from Grimmsnarl, or I think Cottony also gets taunt, and then we also had a ghost type with imprisoned trick room in Goregeist. But we also wanted to be able to function inside of trick room, and Pincurchin helps us to do that a lot. Something like Amoonguss, it'll just put down that electric terrain, so we can't, nothing can get spored. It's basically the slowest mon in the format in the draft. So I don't know. I think I'll keep our text a little bit closer to our chest for right now, but its speed was definitely a big factor, and it definitely doesn't hurt to have terrain. It also it'll be nice to overwrite terrains from Indeedee and Rillaboom as well. So
Yeah, once we look at the move set, we'll come up with something. But for the most part, we just kind of just take it for terrain. That's just we have no idea what it does.
we'll come up with more than just something. We got plans for it.
It's definitely going to show up in team preview.
I
see
can.
that is pretty respectable.
I also have. I'm not gonna name names, but there is one team in particular we're 100% bringing it against.
No names though.
Let's see.
No, not yet.
Well, then.
You'll see. You'll find out.
After asking you guys this question, I respect your decision to drop Pincurchin a little more. Another pick I was wondering about as well was the coughing. I mean, I know it does get the neutralizing gas. That's about all of that it offers, I think. I mean, it does get like some decent attacks, but yeah, it's could be like a huge hindrance if you guys do decide to bring it. Did you guys draft that assuming that you weren't going to bring it at all, or did you guys actually like have that something thought out for coughing?
I mean, I don't think it's any secret that it's not going to be hitting the field most of the time. I think that's true of pretty much any D tier mon. Um, but it's we'll have to take a look at some of our matchups again. But um, the neutralizing gas could really come in handy for a few mons that are maybe a little bit over reliant on their abilities. Um, and it does have a few good tech moves. It's got stuff like Clear Smog and Will-O-Wisp. I know Wheezing gets taunt. I think Coughing probably does too. So there's some stuff that it has some utility. There's some ways that it can help out other than just sitting there and denying opposing abilities. Um, but yeah, that was mainly the reason behind it. There were a couple of other D tiers that we were potentially looking at, because surprisingly there were a few ones in there in that tier that were not complete trash, and we thought coughing was one of them. So that's kind of the thought process behind it.
I see. Nice to get some insight on the coughing. Another question I did have is a bit more casual. I'm not trying to analyze into your draft, but um, did your draft go the way that you wanted it to? Did you build something that you liked?
Um, I think it more has to do with our spot. Uh, I mean, it's people all the time argue about draft order and where is good and where is bad. Uh, Second to last isn't great, so you know, even though you have a snaking pick, like we wanted a chance to maybe be able to nab Clefairy, and we had no chance at that because we were gonna waste our first pick on it. It made no sense for us. And then the team after was able to draft it back to back. And when you're in that position where you can just go back to back on your pick, it's a lot different because with us we had two picks that were gonna go after our last pick, so we have to kind of risk that. With that being said, with where we were at, I think this ended up being our third draft strategy. Should we
Kind of.
reveal?
Um,
Our first one was like our first one just had no chance. We were like, in an ideal world, what if this happened? Like, what would? And I think it was Togekiss Dragon Pole. Like, if that was on the board, that was the only like, it was one of the only S tier combinations that we were willing to actually like go in and grab double S and have to like rebuild our whole draft because we did want to go with four A's. Like we thought A tier was really like fraught with talent in this draft. So, you know, being significantly less points than S tier, if we figured if we're not going to get top 10 S tier, why get the 11th best S tier when you can get the best A tier, when you can get two of the best A tiers? So that was kind of our thought process on it. Is it the draft that we wanted? Uh, you know,
I mean, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
We had Volcarona Blastoise in mind from the very beginning.
Yes, definitely. And Duraludon Grimmsnarl was up there too because Hector used it in VGC. It's a threat, man. Like you have to prep for it. It's really good. So yeah, we got given our spot, we got it. Like look, we're not gonna lie. We got Mew 2 years in a row. We obviously would have loved to grab it again this last time. But we saw like right when we were at 13, we were like, "There's no way.
Yeah.
There's just no way. It's a top 5 mon hands down. People have already seen that what we can do with it. Like it's not gonna fall to us. So it really sucked. We would have really loved to grab it again, but we had to kind of come to terms with it once we saw where we were in the draft. Like, okay, we're not getting it. What do we do now? And knowing that, like, yeah, we're pretty happy with our draft, definitely.
I see. Well, that actually makes me feel bad for drafting me in.
Somebody was gonna take it, man. Honestly, if it like literally, I think the Russians went 2 picks after you. Like Dean told me right off the bat, she's like, if it's there, we're taking it. Like so.
Yeah, we knew it was not going to fall.
Yeah,
to us.
like there was just no chance.
Yeah, we didn't even make a plan for it. We never even thought, well, if we get Mew, what else will we get with it? Because we knew it just wasn't going to happen.
And Alyssa said too that she was going to try and grab it, like if it fell to her. So if it wasn't going to be you guys, it was going to be somebody else. There was no way that it was going to fall to fucking 13th, to 13th overall. Like it's no way. So we had to, we had a Togekiss Dragapult draft before we even thought about drafting Mew. That's how sure we were that we weren't gonna get Mew. And then like Togekiss Dragapult went 1 and 2. We were like, oh yeah, we had no chance of that.
Yeah, and we knew that probably we knew that probably wasn't gonna happen anyway. We're not stupid.
Yeah.
It was kind of just well, if it's there.
Yeah, I mean we're willing to do it. Another one that we were planning on just because we thought it would be fun was NDD Necrozma. Because Necrozma has Prism armor, makes it super bulky. You can just like do Psychic Spam. It gets Aerial Ace.
Yeah.
Gets Aerial Ace, so you can Dynamax it. Start getting the max air streams.
It gets Dragon Dance.
It gets Dragon Dance. Yeah, like it's pretty decent. Photon Geyser too, which like you can hit physical or special. So we had thought like right off the bat, like if NDD female and Necrozma fall to us, we'll spend both S tiers on that because that would be really fun to run. But then NDD went like 3rd overall.
Yeah.
So we were just like, okay, well, never mind. We're not
Yeah.
going to do that.
After just the first few picks, we realized, oh, okay, so we're just going A tiers.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we had no choice, especially because I don't think we expected 2 U tiers or to be taken, or at least 1 U and 1 A. We had 1 A that was taken real high. I believe Doesn't Click took Primarina, and then no U's were taken at all. So basically everything was just S all the way through. So we had no chance at grabbing any of the good ones. So we just decided to go for it.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty good explanation. I think you guys had, knowing your draft spot, you knew what kind of you were expecting and you were kind of prepared for your draft position. So I think that was a pretty good explanation of what you guys were expecting out of the draft. And asking, were there any? You don't have to name the picks, but were there any picks that that were taken from you that you would have to go to a secondary or even like a third choice pick as far as moms?
I'll go ahead and say it. We wanted Serena so bad, and like, look, we took 2 grass types. Like, that's how bad we wanted a cohesive grass type on there. We figured if we can get Volk, Blastoise, Serena, it would be so good. And then like 2 picks later, Doesn't Click picked them, which
the moment we started thinking about it, we actually had Gorgeist in mind first.
Yeah.
And then we looked at Serena and we were like, oh, that would be way better. And then literally like a few minutes after we started talking about it, it got taken. We're like, well, all right, never mind.
To be fair, I believe it was going back up, so it was going to have to go back up to the top and then back down through Doesn't Click again before it got back to us.
Yeah.
So I doubt it would have lasted that long, but oh man, that would have been so great to add like Serena. I I think that's the one of the main ones that got sniped from us was Serena. We really were.
Well, also our first choice for a Duraludon partner was Clefable.
Yeah, and
but-
that got taken out.
Yeah, New England
first round.
Patriots got Clefable before just their first pick. So we were thinking about Grimmsnarl anyway, and obviously fairy types in general are going to be great to pair with Duraludon, and Grimmsnarl's got a lot of versatility, a lot of stuff it can do. So we just decided to go with that, and frankly, I think we're kind of lucky that Volcarona Blastoise were both there when it got back to us, because that was it wasn't like plan A, but that pair in particular was something that we had in mind from the very beginning, because it's super versatile. It's like which one's gonna set up and which one's gonna redirect. You never really know. So pretty powerful pair.
To make a sports reference, we feel that the Volcarona Blastoise are the Scottie Pippen of the team. It's probably not going to be great as a number one option, but having it there as the number two is just so much pressure just on the other opposing team, because like you have to also respect like our Michael Jordan, our Duraludon Grimmsnarl. So like having that in the back, like it was just real nice for us to have that combination of like being able to get those four. Just is real nice.
That's I think overall, I think that I mean that was a pretty good. You guys got a mixture. So were the Cottony and Gorgeist, were they second and third picks, or were they just picks that let's just take whatever we can? I guess
The Gorgeist. I mean, we didn't really draft Cottony as a grass type. It was
No.
it's a its primary type should be prankster, not grass. The Gorgeist was definitely our second choice for grass type, as we said earlier. Serena would have been a lot better. But the Cottony is mostly for prankster tailwind, but it can do a lot of the same stuff that Whimsicott can do. It's got a lot of the same tools, so it's definitely a lot more than just a one and done tailwind setter. But at the same time, it's obviously it's the best tailwind setter that was drafted. Nobody else. I just looked it up a little while ago. Nobody else has priority tailwind at all. Talonflame didn't even get drafted. Nobody picked up Whimsicott from S tier, so it was. I think it was a really good pick. I'm looking forward to using it, but it wasn't really drafted as a grass type.
Yeah, Gorgeist was drafted as a grass type, and I honestly think that it gives us a decent mode. Now that it gets Poltergeist and decent grass stab, it has a decent attack speed stat too. Like people know it as like a Trick Room user, but
Depends on which form you're running, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. So there's stuff that we can do with it. It wasn't ideal, but we're definitely excited to use it. We think it'll work well with what we have.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you guys want to add as far as like kind of like a final thought going forward, and what you guys are expecting to reach as far as finishing the season?
I mean, I don't think there's anything to add about our team. I think you guys did a pretty good analysis on it. You nailed it down pretty good. I do think our B tiers could have been a little bit better, but with what we wanted to achieve, I think that we got what we wanted. As far as how far we want to go, I mean, we made playoffs in our first year, and we got to top four in our second year. And we're looking, we want to win it all. Obviously, we think, but our main thing is getting into the playoffs. I think that needs to be the goal for any team. We want to win it, but you got to get there first.
I'm confident in our ability to do that.
And the Matt Alcinas, they showed, not this Matt Alcina, but the team, the Matt Alcinas, they showed that you just need to get in the playoffs. Just get in. It doesn't matter your record. It doesn't matter how you did throughout the season or who you lost to. Like, if you can get in and you can have a good run where, you took down the top two seeds, you took down the Patriots, who hadn't lost a game, or they only lost one game all year, and then you took us down, who had also only lost one game all year. Like, they went into finals, like, and they had a chance to win it all, and like shows like just get in. So that's our goal is don't worry about the season. We'd love to go undefeated or whatever, but just get into the bracket, do well, and hope we can bring it home this time. Yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely close. Playoffs first year, second year made it to top four, so I think that was a pretty good. I think that's a pretty good run. I think you guys are eventually due to get to finals and then hopefully win it all. So, if there isn't anything else, do you have anything else you want to add, Allan, or anything?
I want to point out that you guys have a great mindset. I agree with having to get to playoffs first before taking it all. I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to win, but we do have to get there first. You guys are a powerhouse, in my opinion. So we are expecting great things from you guys.
Thank you.
And that's about all I have to add.
So if there isn't anything more, I think this pretty much covers everything. And I'd like to thank you guys for letting us do your guys' draft analysis, and then we're definitely looking forward to playing you guys in the future.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We got some fun stuff planned, and thank you again for taking your time out to doing this video. We did it a couple of times, it seems like, but thank you, and taking your time to fill out the report card, man. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Love you guys, man.
Okay.
Love you too, bro. We appreciate you.